Hello, welcome to Rose Movie Recap Channel. This drama is about a presidential spokesperson named Baek Seon. The first scene starts with him attending a very important event with international guests too. A woman enters the room after him. She is his wife. Her name is Hong Hee-jo. She can listen but can't talk. When she approaches him, he tells her that she shouldn't be nervous as everyone's attention is on him. And she shouldn't get the wrong idea that they are a couple, as they are both there for business purposes. The tension is high between them. No one knows about their marriage, as it is kept as a secret for the entire 3 years since they got married. Hee-jo works at the news station as a sign language interpreter. Everyone likes her, as she is a very kind person, but she thinks that her husband hates her, as he keeps telling her to not get confused about their relationship and always pushes her away. They have been married for 3 years, but no romantic relationship has occurred between them. One day, as she is going home with her car, she notices some malfunctioning happening in the car that is out of her control. She is losing the control of the car and barely manages to stop the car in the middle of the street. Someone has hacked her car and controls it. The doors are locked and can't be opened. Hee-jo sees a man wearing black clothes, cap, and a black mask standing further from her. He keeps staring at her and suspiciously approaches her. He gets in the car and calls Seon. He threatens him that he has kidnapped his wife and he should listen to his orders no matter what. Hee-jo doesn't say anything, and Seon thinks that this is just a prank because no one has seen his wife except their family members, so he doesn't believe that someone has recognized her. His phone's battery dies, and after charging it, he calls Hee-jo's mother. She lies to him and tells him that she got home safely. This assures him that his wife is safe, and the phone call was just a scam. When the kidnapper calls him again, Seon starts talking to him more firmly. The kidnapper is choking Hee-jo and tells Seon that he will kill his wife if he doesn't listen to him. Seon says that he should definitely try doing it and should not call him back. Only call back when there is corpse. This shocks him because he thought her husband would get worried about her. More importantly, Hee-jo is very shocked when Seon didn't try to save her and asked the kidnapper to call back when she is dead. She is very angry and starts pressing the gas pedal with all her force without thinking what will happen to her. Kidnapper is calling Seon, but he is not answering. After speeding up, they get into an accident. Hee-jo manages to escape and gets back home, but her neck is injured. She is trying to hide it and not tell anything to her husband. Seon comes home and worriedly checks to see if she is at home. He gets relieved to see her there. However, Hee-jo decides to keep this kidnapping a secret from him. The scene is changed to 3 years ago on their wedding day. She is wearing her wedding dress and sitting lonely while he comes in. Seon tells her that she is just a replacement for the actual bride, and no one knows about her. He shows her their marriage contract and asks her to sign it. Without reading it, she signs it. He says that she shouldn't develop any feelings for him, and if she doesn't obey the rules, the penalty is 2 billion won. The bride had to be someone else, but Hee-jo was the replacement. In the present, they both go to the event that was shown in the beginning of the episode. She goes there as an interpreter. When they are at the event, one of the guests asks him why he doesn't bring his wife with him. He tells him that his wife is his weakness, and he doesn't want to put her in danger, as there is a lot of attention on him. Hee-jo is very tired and starts drinking. Seon comes and stops her. He sees that she is uncomfortable wearing those heels, so he tells her that she can go home. Hee-jo starts telling him her heart's words in sign language, but he didn't understand any of it. Hee-jo leaves. As soon as she leaves, he gets a call at 10 p.m. sharp. It is the same phone number of the kidnapper. He immediately recognizes the number and answers the call. The person tells him that he is at the event too. He first doesn't believe him, but when the caller tells him about the details of the event, he believes that the caller is actually at the event. Then there is a shocking reveal that this time, the caller is actually Hee-jo herself, who is calling from the restroom with kidnapper's phone. She took the kidnapper's phone after the accident. She is now telling him to divorce Hee-jo, as he was supposed to get married to her sister Hong Ina, and he doesn't love Hee-jo, so he should let her go. He gets angry and hits the wall with his hand. and he promises to catch him no matter what. She gets very scared. Seon gets worried about Heejo as he now knows the kidnapping was real. He searches for her and finds her. He starts checking her body to see if she got injured and finds out the wound on her neck. Seon tells his secretary Park Do-jae to track that number and find out the real voice of the caller. He takes her home and gets very scared by any stranger passing by them. Seon tells her to stay at home and not go to work, and he asks her if she saw the kidnapper's face, but she told him that he was wearing a mask and couldn't see his face. The kidnapper told Heejo that this phone is programmed to only call Baek Seon, and it changes the voice of the caller. His secretary told Seon when he receives a call again, make sure it lasts more than 10 minutes so they can track his location. Seon hires bodyguards to secretly protect Heejo and follow her everywhere. One day, Heejo's college friend Ji Sang-woo visits her. He also knows sign language, and he had a crush on her before. The bodyguards take pictures of them and send them to Seon. This makes him very jealous as he sees Heejo smiling with him. Heejo calls again at 10 p.m. She threatens him once more and sends him a picture of her thighs and says that he should get divorced from her no matter what. He says that he shouldn't mess up with his person. This shocks her as he considers her one of his people. Seon comes back home to check Heejo's thigh to see if the mole is there. She gets under her blanket and she's very scared and regrets for sending that picture to him. Seon comes close to her, but looking at her worried face, he doesn't check it and goes back. In the morning, he starts preparing breakfast for her and asks her to give him some stuff to prepare a meal for her. This is surprising for her, as he always leaves without a notice, but now, he is caring towards her. Ji Sang-woo joins the news team that Heejo is working with to prepare a documentary about an incident that happened at an orphanage. He meets Nayuri there, who is a news anchor. She is a kind and cheerful person who admires Baek Seon a lot because he was a news anchor before. Heejo's parents got divorced, and her mother got married to Hong Il-kyung, who is very rich. Her father is staying at nursing home. She regularly visits him, and he is the only person that Heejo talks to. She has the ability to talk, but refuses to do so, and she only talks to her father. He is the only person whom she feels comfortable with. She gets home and waits for Seon, but he doesn't come back that day. In the morning when she wakes up, she checks the news and sees that the spokesperson's office was set on fire. This scares her and makes her think that the kidnapper is still alive, and he did all this. At that moment, Seon comes in. His shirt is dirty, and there are bloodstains on his neck. He looks very angry and approaches Heejo. He is now determined to check her thigh to see if the mole is there. He thinks Heejo might be involved with the kidnapper and tells her that she is not the Heejo that he knew before. It shows the past one day before their wedding day. Heejo's sister texts him and says that she doesn't want to get married to him. He asks her about her sister Heejo. Ina says that her father wants her to get married to a rich jerk. Seon tells her that the condition has changed. The new bride should be Heejo instead of her. This shows that it was Baek Seon himself who wanted to get married to Heejo and save her. The day of the incident is shown. Seon was talking to Heejo on the phone as 406 caller. At that moment, a delivery person comes and brings a pizza. In the pizza, there was a bomb. No one gets hurt from it. Seon was taken to hospital. When he becomes conscious, he immediately checks his phone and sees a text from the bodyguards that Heejo is safe at home. This makes him feel better that she is safe. The scene is transitioned to the moment where he wanted to check her thigh. She tells him that she doesn't understand what he wants to do and what he wants to check. This makes him stop and doesn't bother her anymore. He asks Heejo to give her phone so he can check if it is hacked or not. At his office, he starts looking at the pictures and sees a photo of her and Ji Sang-woo at the orphanage. She was smiling there too. Looking at the orphanage's name, it makes him a little surprised, which raises suspicions. Ji Sang-woo starts telling his story at the news station. He says that when he was at the orphanage, the master's son was coming to the villa next to the orphanage. He was wearing a mask and was at his age. They used to play together there, until one day, he saw him cutting a cat's throat, which made him scared and ran away from the villa. Heejo goes to pick up her car. When she gets in the car, She notices malfunctioning happening again. The system is acting the way it did during the kidnapping. She gets very scared. When everything goes back to normal, she rushes back home. She calls Seon again at 10 and desperately asks him to divorce Heejo, as he doesn't have any feelings for her, because he said to only call back once she is dead. However, Seon replies by saying that he will never get divorced from his wife and will never be tricked by his words. She imagines him sitting in front of her while saying these words. When he comes back home, he tells her that he won't divorce her. He suddenly goes to her room and lies down on her bed. She is standing there watching him. He then says, if she is afraid that she won't be able to control herself next to him. Heejo also goes to sleep. Seon tells her that the kidnapper is much closer to them than expected, but she shouldn't be worried, as he will protect her at any cost. This sounds comforting for her, and both sleep well next to each other. Heejo has a nightmare. When her mother got married to the chairman, his daughter and son, alongside Heejo, were in the car when they got into an accident. His son passed away, and her daughter lost her hearing, but Heejo was fine. Her mother got angry and told her to pretend that she can't talk, so the chairman won't kick them out of the house, saying that only his children got injured. She has forced Heejo to stay silent all these years, even though she's been able to talk. The kidnapper goes to the nursing home that Heejo's father is at. He calls her with her father's phone. She thinks it's her father, so she starts talking. He suddenly calls her Oni. He tells her that he knows about the fact that she stole his phone and calls Seon with it. He says to continue what she is doing and get divorced from him. Heejo is very scared. She rushes to her father to make sure he is okay. She sees that he is doing fine. Police officers are there too, and they are taking her home. Along the way, she wants to get out of the car as she isn't feeling well. When she gets out, she starts crying and saying in her mind that no one is on her side, and no one wants to help her. At that moment, Baek Seon comes while being escorted. He gets out of the car and like a shining hope approaches to Heejo. He helps her to get up and tells the officers that she is his wife. This shocks her, and she sees that she has someone who is on her side, who comes to help her. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for upcoming recaps. Bye everyone!